Okay. Now, what can I say about Noel? Like I said, I feel bad that I hadn't talked to him in 19 years, or maybe we had a little bit, but we talk every night at 9:25. Because Noel works late, and he's always he drives to Syracuse every day, and he's coming back, and we talk till our cell phone batteries beep out. Trying to make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed today. But his total dedication has been an inspiration for me. Noel was out here with a York rake and a tractor. We had to drive this tractor in. It's Lisa Williams, I think, if you're still here, God bless you, let us borrow this tractor. And it took us 3 hours to get it here because it only went 2 miles an hour. But York raked the whole park, got the stones out of here. So thank you. But Noel spent the afternoon with that York rake, and man, was he pretty good with it. But like I said, it wouldn't be possible without the total dedication and vision of Noel and his driving force. I mean, he secured the Golden's acrylics to get this mural preserved so ultraviolet won't bother it. And he's on the phone every day trying to make things happen. So without further ado, Noel Dobbins. He's carrying on the tradition of the Dobbins family well.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was up until about 2 in the morning last night, or this morning, trying to figure out what to say with this. And I can't think at this point right now a better place that I'd rather be, with my 2 daughters flanking me here, obviously, what this park is and the way it looks. And every time I look at it, I just, every single time, it changes somehow, and I pick up new little parts and pieces. And I just can't say enough about what has happened here. And first, I need to thank the volunteers, because these people that volunteered in doing either painting or the gardens or different things out there were just fantastic. They came down every Saturday and helped out, and luckily we had nice weather, except for obviously the grass. We had a 2-week layoff in rain, so little pieces came up, but we're getting there. And so I just want to thank the community members, the kids who came. The park was completely done by volunteers as a team, and I really think this is a community victory here, this park. And I hope that we can continue that on in different parts of Lyons, which are already started, as Mark had told you earlier. I always seem to get to the culmination of a project like this, and I have mixed feelings. Obviously, it's been a great 5 months getting this park ready. The way it was, and obviously there's some pictures over there that show you what it looked like before. But now, having it come to a culmination also makes me sad, because I enjoyed working with everybody that was part of this. And I hope in the future, when we do new projects, that we can do this again. I would love time to stop right now, and so I can enjoy this for a long time. And I look forward to that. Obviously, the reunion with Mark after 20 years, it's been incredible. And when Mark says we kept in touch, we've kept in touch 5 or 6 times a day. I mean, it was just that for these last 5 months. But the friends that I've made also, new people that I've met that came down and painted and came down to clear the park out. It was just great. And then I think what I'm doing now is I'm experiencing new emotions from this park. The rush that I felt when there's a deadline and something has to get done was just so enjoyable, and working with everybody was just a fantastic thing. And I think I sit back, I did a lot of sitting back by the guardrail back there while people were working on the project, and I just sat in awe a lot of times with tears in my eyes to see a mural being put up, or flowers being planted, trees being planted. It just was an incredible experience for me to sit back and watch this. And it's not too often that you have the opportunity to have a park named after your dad in his memory. So it was something that it was very special. And obviously, this new happiness that I have in my life, I have to give the the credit to Dad. Just as he has his whole life, he was unselfish and always put everybody else before him. I was trying to think of times in my life with him that he wanted to do something for himself. It was always for us, and that's really neat. And it always takes after someone dies to really realize that as much as you do. His community involvement in Lions helped really gain what it is today. He had the drugstore, which is in his third generation now. It started with my grandfather, then to Dad, and then to Sean now. Everywhere he went, he'd always, wherever he was, he would always say, "I'm Winston Dobbins, and I live in Lyons, New York," when he met someone new. So it was always Lyons, someplace in that whole category. And if you remember some of the things, if anybody was at his funeral, one of the things I said was that the 4 months that Dad was sick, I learned more about him than I think I have in the 40 years that he's been my dad. And it's not because of a relationship, it's just that you take your parents for granted, and you think that you know everything about them, but you really don't. And I found that out now. And he had an impact on people. And when he was here, it was just the awe that he just went around town and talked to people. Didn't matter if he knew them or not, but he's the type of person to be as friendly as he could, and obviously jokes followed soon after that. So, also too, the memories I have of him since he's passed away are much clearer to me now. It's somehow a flick of a switch now that the ski trips that we took, the times they've taken us to the cottage, to different parts and different things that we did, memories of that are just so much brighter and clearer now for me. And I talked to Dad when he was sick, and we sat down and said, "What's our best memory that we have?" And the memory we picked out was skiing. We loved to ski. He loved to ski, and we did a lot of that together. Even though us three boys, we could be a terror on Mom and Dad, he the next weekend would pick us up again and go. And it was just never an issue with him. And I see that more clear now. The cottage in the Thousand Islands was where he would go for his inner peace, I think. And he enjoyed being up there a lot. And even though he enjoyed it so much, he always brought us kids again. And even during the summer, he would take us up there. Never was a time where he was alone without his kids on a trip. And again, the memories of that and different things really come to the front of my mind. And I do remember that, and I cherish it now. It's just amazing. Amazing thing. Also, where he put himself before the family. Again, he always asked us to go play tennis. He always sent us to camps. He always sent us to different things that he would think about for us and not for himself. And I truly miss that part of being young and going through all that with him. And I hope that these memories that I have will stay much longer, so I can really see that. His corny comments. I used to sit with Dad, and he'd make some comments, and I'd have to cover my face up because, "Dad, what are you doing here?" He would sit up at the cottage, and a kayaker would go by. And right away, I saw him looking at the kayaker, and I said, "Oh no, here we go." And he'd yell to the kayaker, "Hey, watch your wake." And some kayakers would go, oh, I gotcha. And the others would just not say anything. Thinking, "Who's that guy yelling at me about my wake?" I said, "I don't have any wake." So, but that was some of the things that he really stuck out. One of the things also that he did was he would have the grandkids over, and we'd be there for dinner. And at the end of the dinner, he would bring over for dessert a banana peel with ketchup on the top of it. He'd set it on the table, and the kids didn't know what to do. They're thinking, "Did we really eat this?" And it was just an incredible memory that I have when the grandkids were younger, the things that he did with them. It was just really neat. And so that's one of the things I remember too. Also, the grandkids that I think were at the later part of his life, were the enjoyment that he had. He loved taking and I know all the grandkids know about walks they took or things that he did with the kids. He always, again, made memories every single day with these kids, and it was just a neat thing to see. I truly wish he was here to see this today. Obviously, it wasn't the case, and I think if you are listening, I truly miss the smile that you had on your face. I really do miss your jokes, believe it or not. Watching you and Mom be happy together was always a neat thing for me to see. No matter how bad things were with me or anybody else in the family, those two stuck together. And I think one of the things that really made how I accepted my dad's death was we were over at my brother Sean's house for a dinner, and we all left, and it was snowy out. And I got back to the house, and Mom had already gone home, and I only saw one set of footprints going into the house. And I think that moment right there, I just it finally hit me when that happened, and I miss the support that Dad you gave me in good and bad times. Anything that was an issue, he would talk to us about it, and believe me, when I was a kid, and probably my other brothers too, we got in a lot of trouble. So, but anyway, he was always there for us, and I miss watching you with the grandkids also. You would always beam up when the kids came over, or you'd beam up when they left, one or the other. I miss seeing my two daughters here, Haley and Sydney, lighten up, smile whenever they saw him, and I miss that part of it. I want to thank you, Dad, for showing me the correct path in life, the way you worked at the drugstore, the way you took care of your family. It's a perfect role model. I hope, Dad, that this park, I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you see lots of people here. I will always use it for your memory. I will come down here, and I truly want to make this park yours. And I think we did a fantastic job. I really do. I kind of want to end in just saying, some of you might not know, I keep a list of top 10 days in my life. And it's difficult because top 10 in your life, it's difficult to find a day that's been better than others. And knocking one of the top 10 off the list has been tough. But this day today, and I think the day the mural went up, and I was sitting in the back, this will be added as one of the top 10 days in my life. And in Dad dying, he gave me true happiness, which I've never felt before. Never have felt before. And working on this, it was just an incredible happiness for me. And I know Dad, he pushed that along to me, and I really do appreciate it. I want to thank Carmela and Frank and Lori and Luke. It's been fantastic, and it means much more than you think for you being here. And I hope that we'll see you much more on different projects. And thank you everyone here for coming too. I just was enthralled by the turnout and the kids and everything, and I actually got to the end of this and didn't break down too much. So, but anyway, thanks again, and I look forward to getting together with everybody and at Studebaker's here after lunch, or for lunch I should say. But thanks again for coming. And just one last thing I want to say, Ed Gantz, I do want to say a special thanks to him. And also, is Jack McCrannell's here? He's around someplace, or? Okay. I would sit at the house on the days that we were supposed to work on the park here. I would hear a lawnmower coming down the street, and I knew it was Jack. I knew it was Jack. He'd drive his lawnmower from almost a mile and a half away down the streets of Lyons to come down here. And I also wanted to make sure he knew that. And Ed Gantz, obviously, with a broken neck, sitting in a tractor all day, doing what he did was just great. And a lot of the things that you see here today, the programs, different pictures and different things, Sarah Gurney, she's been a family friend for a long time. And I think that without her and her coordination, we wouldn't be like we are today, for sure. So I want to thank you for that very much. And my brothers, Sean and Luke, Dad was the reason why we were put together, and I can't be happier to have you guys as my brothers. And I hope that we can come down here once in a while, have lunch on the picnic table, and just talk about Dad. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
I just want to say that we came down here, and I think it was in early March, to look at where the mural was going. I mean, we did some Photoshop works to see kind of how it would lay out. And we sat right over there, the view that you see today of that trolley and that canal. And I said, no, it's going to happen. And he said, I wish my dad was here to help me make it happen. I said, no, you are your dad. You can do it. He did it. Give him a hand. And I wouldn't be, when we were planting the flowers, I don't know how it happened, but in Winston Dobbins' flower bed, there's corn growing. And we have no idea how it got there. So Winston is still with us, believe me. There's right over there under the river birch tree is a corn. So we'll have a picnic down here with a couple years of corn in August. At this time, I'd like to have anybody that would like to share some memories of Winston to come up, if anybody would like to. Rose, did you want to say anything about Gus? You want to? Okay. Rose, I work with Rose, and I want to tell a little story about Gus. James, when he painted, he needed to have an illustration of something. He needed a photograph before he painted. And he came up to me and said, do you have a photo of a mule? I said, well, I got a great mule in mind. It's Gus. Gus works at Everybody Rides. It's a therapeutic riding program for developmentally disabled. And Gus is great. I knew Gus, and he was a fabulous mule. And so I got a picture of Gus in January, and Gus was painted. He's a mule to the right. He was painted, and that's one of the things that never was repainted over. And we have Gus and Maud and Sale. And from the day after we put the mural up, Gus died. And Gus was special to us all. And Rose is here to say, Rose drew the artwork on the front of the program, and that's Gus. So, Rose, would you like to say a few words about Gus?
Thank you.
I'd like to say that Gus was a very, very special mule. He made everybody happy. He was the very first mule for Everybody Rides, and when I found out there was going to be a mule, I was like, cool. And
Okay, get closer to the mic.
I just like to say that Gus was a really good mule.
If I know Mark talked earlier about anybody who wanted to come up and say something. Okay. One of the things I want to remind you of is that after this, if anyone doesn't know where Studebaker's is new restaurant in Lyons, there's a lunch buffet there for everybody. I guess the best way to do it, if you're coming on this road here, or this street here, is to go down all the way down to the end of Water Street, take a left, and the red apple, you're going to take a right, and it's right there. You can't miss it. So please, we have lots of food available. Please stop down and enjoy it, and I'll let Mark say a couple words here.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. It is going to be one of the most memorable days in Lyons history. And it's going to be here for generations to come, long after we're gone. I'm counting on Luke to carry on the torch, to keep this program going. And if it's not done in the next couple of years, I'm making sure that you're going to make sure that lock is restored up there. Because we want people to be proud of not only Lyons, but Wayne County, and we can make this happen with all your help. So thanks a lot for coming out today. And let's go down to Studebaker's and sharing some great memories of G. Winston Dobbins. Thanks for today.